Because of women using their voices, the Stark County Health Department and Stark County Thrive created the Dear Stark Women landing page on starkhealth.org. The page is filled with resources for the betterment of your health. Dear Stark Women, the best version of you begins with your health. Visit starkhealth.org today.
Doctor, doctor, I'm screaming,
It is a Wednesday morning. You know what that means. That means we get to talk to Ohio's Family Physician of the Year. My gosh, we are so privileged. I love that we get that chance. You know I'm going to keep saying it over and over again, Dr. Stan, like until your reign ends a year from now, right?
Oh, my goodness, Tim. Well, I'm just speechless, but thank you.
I saw that you guys had a parking lot party at Jackson Family Practice this week, right?
Yeah, that was on Monday. That was they kept it quiet from me, and my staff ended up having a big old barbecue. Yeah. And my office manager Joey, I gotta say something. He is a master barbecuer, and oh my goodness, my nurse Shannon made some of the best chocolate chip cookies. Those were to die for. It was really an amazing time.
Nice. I love it. Well, you deserved it, and it's nice to have a chance to relax with everybody for a minute, right?
Well, thank you so much.
All right, so let's talk about some things that happened this week. First of all, the COVID shots for the very young children were approved this week. Do you think you're going to see parents bringing their kids in to get the shots?
Yeah, they rolled out Shots for Tots,
yes,
is what it's called. And it's both the Moderna and the Pfizer shot. And the CDC recommended it on Friday, and then it got the green light on Saturday. So anyone 6 months and older can get either of those two shots. The disappointing issue is that if you look at the numbers, only 30% of school-age kids have already gotten the vaccine. So the expectation that we're going to end up seeing all 18 to 19 million children and infants getting the shot is pretty low. Part of it is that a lot of parents just don't know what to expect down the road. And clearly, since COVID has only been with us for 2.5 years, we really don't know long-term effects. The expectation is that there are no significant long-term effects. The people that I would definitely recommend having their children getting the vaccine, well, first, anybody, but the people that are more at risk is if your child has a health problem or if they suffer with obesity. When those children end up getting COVID, they are more likely to end up having a complication. So if your child has a congenital heart defect, if your child has a significant gastroenterology issue or an immune deficiency, or if they suffer with obesity, then those children should consider getting a much higher likelihood that if they get COVID, they'll have a complication. So they should definitely get the shot.
All right. We also, one of the other things that we saw, you wanted to talk about the vitamin D deficiency. And I know that's an issue for a lot of reasons. And you'd probably be surprised how many people actually are vitamin D deficient.
Yeah, it's a lot more prevalent than you think. And this is a study out of Australia where what they found was that low levels of vitamin D are associated with smaller brains. So the smaller your brain, the more likely it is that you're going to have dementia, that you're going to end up having some type of a memory problem or a cognitive problem. And what they found was that up to 17% of all dementia cases might be prevented by getting everybody to have a normal vitamin D level. So the problem is that most insurances don't really cover getting a vitamin D level very well. There is a cost that's associated with it. You really only need to get it once and then decide how much vitamin D you should take. A simple rule of thumb is if you're taking vitamin D normally comes in 800, 1,000, and 2,000. So for every 100 that you take, you're going to raise your vitamin D level by about 0.8. So if you're taking the 1,000 milligram dose, you're going to end up raising your vitamin D levels by 8 points. If you're taking 2,000, you're going to raise your vitamin D level by 16 points. That's a simple rule of thumb. If you're taking 800, you're going to be raising it by somewhere around 6.4 points. So that's the way to think of the vitamin D supplementation and how much it raises your level. Our goals are first to get you above 20, but normal is technically above 30. So goal is above 20, but if you can, get it above 30.
Now, you can get vitamin D by prescription, but is it okay to take it just over the counter?
Yeah, and there's really no difference between the prescription, it's a 50,000 that you take once a week, or taking the over-the-counter vitamin Ds, and those were the ones I was talking about, the 800, the 1,000, and 2,000. Yeah, they're called vitamin D3, and the prescription is vitamin D2. They're just different ways in which the vitamin D itself is metabolized. But quite frankly, they're basically the same. The difference is the vitamin D2, which is prescription, is slower for it to get into your system.
And how much did you say that you needed to have per week?
Yeah, so it all depends on what your level starts with. If you start super low and your risk for rickets, your risk for vitamin D deficiency is increased, you should probably take 2,000 or take the prescription. Are you potentially going to go through danger? So if you get your levels above 100, you increase your risk for kidney stones. So there is this very, very large safety net. Taking 1,000 or 2,000 is generally safe for 99.99% of people. It's only people that are really going to end up being hyper absorbers. They're the ones that could potentially get into trouble, which is really like 1 in a million.
Okay. Now, I also saw where you said that poor posture is linked to dementia.
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting study. They were looking at this. This was from Japan, and they were looking at people between 50 and 89, and they were trying to simply answer, do we note that people with neck problems, so this is all neck, not low back, it's all neck. People with neck problems where their head is really bent forward, are they more likely to end up getting dementia or cognitive decline or Alzheimer's? And what they found was that there's a definite increase. No, it's not huge. It's not like, oh, no, I have osteoporosis and my neck leans forward, I'm going to get dementia. No, it's just an association that people with poor posture increase their risk. They didn't come up with a nomogram of if it's 2 degrees forward, you increase your risk by 2%. No, they didn't come up with that. They simply said, if you are more frail, if you are having arthritis in your neck, if you have previous injury, you are more likely to have cognitive impairment, cognitive complaints leading to dementia. They basically just said, okay, this is an association. It's better for people to try to work on their posture, consider seeing their healthcare provider, getting into physical therapy, try to strengthen your upper body. That's the bottom line of that. It is better for people with neck problems to strengthen their upper body.
And Mom always said, stand up straight.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dr. Stan, we appreciate you coming on this morning, and we'll talk again next Wednesday, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Pam. I appreciate you.
Canton's Morning News with Pam Cook